Hello, welcome to another episode of SprueCast. As ever, I'm joined by Gil, Gordon, and Josh. This week we're gonna look at a few bits and pieces, but mainly, I think it's definitely I'm painting a small figure, and that's basically the topic because I'm stuck. And that's the easiest way to put it, rather than trying to make it sound all complicated and that. But anyway, so I'm painting a small figure, and I was struggling a bit, so I thought we'd have it as a topic. And as it happens, Josh has got a small figure on the go as well, and Gordon's got a small seat. So
I have a little one here that I could talk about. If you
yeah. And Gil's always surrounded by small figures, so we're covered there. So anyway, I hope you've all had a good week, and I know in Britain we've come out of lockdown in a lot of places, and it's nice for things to be starting to get back to normal. Things are not quite there yet. But, we're getting there. So, first of all, we're going to do a little round and see what we've been working on. I will go first this week. I haven't really been working on a lot. Got a lot going on. We're about to put new flooring in. So I've really not had time to do much. But I've been working on the FW 190, the 132nd kit. And if I can just bring this down, I will just give me... Oh, the camera's a bit... Let me just bring the camera up as well. So basically, I've been working on the canopy. That's it, really. I worked on that, and then I thought I'd buggered the seat up, and I had to take it out after I'd already installed it. I don't know where I've put it now. It's about somewhere. I don't know where it is. So I ended up buying an what is it, Gordon? Is it Aerobonus? Yeah. Aerobonus resin pilot, which is what I'm painting at the moment. I'm struggling a bit with it because it's so tiny. I know that I've watched a lot of good painters, and they say to use a number two brush. Let me just see if I've got a number 2 brush here. I think that's a number 2. I'm not certain. I'm going to say that's a number 2. It's not got any markings on it, but it looks about right. You guys say that's a number 2?
That looks more... It depends. Yeah, I think I got one like that. Yeah, that looks like about a number 2.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... I haven't really got... nothing's numbered on these. That's the trouble. Well, I'm going to say that. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong, but it's either a number 2 or a number 4. I wouldn't have thought it was a 4.
No, because this one here is a number 2, but this is a Raphael, so that's a number 2 there. You know, that one right there.
That looks about the same.
Yeah,
that looks about the same as that. Yeah. So I'm going to say this is number 2, right? So let me just move it back. So my problem is I'm using this, and I know they say to use it, but my God, I mean, just the point alone is sort of like it covers. I'm just really struggling. So I've obviously, because I like paintbrushing, I've got a large array of paintbrushes. So I've got, I think it's a 000. I have got, or did have, a 10-0 and even a 20-0 at one point. But I'm not sure where they are. The smallest one I've got would be this army painter. It's called the Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah, it was my favorite brush, and it really needs replacing. But basically the tip on it is so tiny. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So I was using something like that. But you know, one of the things I've got to consider is I get the shakes a bit because of medication and so on, and it can become a problem.
Well, I can already see your problem with the way you're holding that brush.
Oh, I'm just holding it like that to demonstrate.
When we get into the discussion on that, there's a couple of tricks you can do to steady it.
Yeah. So in a minute, Gil, I will show you exactly how I paint, and then and then you can tell me where I'm going wrong. But yeah, that's what I've been using, because it's just trying to do this. And the head is even smaller. If you thought the body was bad, there's the head, and there's a lot of detail on there. I'm just trying to. I don't want to put it in tweezers because I know it'll ping off. Let me see if there we go.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've got to work on that. So that's all I've pretty much done this week. I did actually paint the F-35 Lightning 2. Let me just drag that down. So the last time you saw that, I hadn't done anything to it, but I have actually painted that now. I used MRP 040, and it's gunship grey, and that is actually the correct colour for that. It's the correct FS number. Bear with me a second. Where are you gone? Oh, I've lost the blinking. Oh well, I had a proper Vallejo bottle with the FS number all highlighted and everything, but I've lost it.
Yeah, you're in the middle of packing stuff up, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're in the middle of packing stuff up, so
yeah, I had it all set out earlier, but we've since been round and packed a load of stuff away, as Gordon says. So unfortunately, but
not we, you did that.
Yeah, I did this. Yeah,
you, not we, you. That's going to come back to bite me in the ass.
So there we go. Huge amount of detail on this. This, without a doubt, this is a 1/72 scale Lightning is it F-35B Lightning 2.
Yeah.
It's the men kit, and it is without doubt the best kit of that scale I have ever put together. It just, I cannot praise it enough. And I've said this to Gordon on numerous occasions. The only reason that I've not promoted this even more is the fact that I'd done it as a video build. And it totally destroyed my mojo for it. The video build really ruined the whole thing for me. This is such a great kit, but, you know, just build it. Don't try and do any fancy projects with it, because, you know, it was a shame, you know, because I'm trying to get my mojo back now to build it. I've ditched the video build for it because I want to get back in there. It's a beautiful kit, and it looks really nice and all.
Yeah.
So much detail on a 1/72nd scale kit. All that there is molded detail in plastic. None of that is extras. It's amazing.
Not bad for an Italeri kit, is it?
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, as Gordon points out, it's Italeri. It's just amazing, beautiful kit. Can't rate it enough. Did I say it was men?
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, because you've got the 48 scale one as well. You're getting them all. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting all in a tiz. My apologies. It's an Italeri kit. It's not a men kit. As Gordon's rightly pointed out. My apologies. Let me pop that back up there. Oh dear. And we'll move on to who wants to go next.
Well, I haven't been working. I mean, Josh, what are you working on?
I'm working on a figure at the moment. But we can talk about the painting class I did for a minute.
Go ahead.
So probably about 3 months ago, I did this figure. I don't know if it'll show up with the light or.
Oh,
I did this figure. Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
And I just mangled the eyes. I'm not very good at them. Well, I took a class, same figure, and that's the difference. I was really. I mean, the eyes I still have to work on them. I mean, but that's definitely an improvement.
So, what did they teach you?
Basically, just the highlights, the eyes, just all the colors that go in and around what you start with.
Yeah.
Like you start with like a brown wash inside the whole eye, then you do the white, and then you just do whatever colors after that you want.
And what was the where was it that you went to for this lesson? Was it a paid lesson?
It was a paid lesson through the Gen Con app this weekend. Oh, but this week I got this guy primed. I don't know if
like that.
I really like I guess you're going to call this a lizard or a dinosaur, whatever you want to call it.
Looks like a rhino.
Yeah, just really cool. I just brush painted the Styrene on.
There's some nice detail in those.
I mean,
Can I ask what you didn't spray the primer on? Is there a reason, or
there is, because it's over 90 degrees in my garage.
right?
So by the time I get 2 seconds of paint on this, I literally have to strip down the airbrush because it dries so quickly.
Could you not put like a retarder in or something like that?
No,
That would work.
No. The heat is drying the paint through the airbrush. So I literally have to strip all the paint out of it and then start over. And then by the time I do that 3 times, I've taken an hour and I haven't even gotten any paint really on the kit.
Oh wow! And I guess this is a common problem in America and hot countries. Sorry, somebody's breaking up.
Gil, you're breaking up, buddy. But anyway, it's because I'm out here in my garage and it's 90 plus degrees, so it's just drying the paint out is basically what's happening. Give it like another. Well, this is August, so next month I'll actually start to airbrush stuff again because it'll be a little bit cooler. But I've been. I mean, here's one of the horses. I don't know if he'll stay this way, but.
And what are they out of? Are they Warhammer or are they just?
Yeah, the slaves to darkness. Here's one of the little. I mean, this whole set is just super cool. Oh, there we go. And then I primed these guys this week. I don't remember what they are, but they're Age of Sigmar.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that was super cool. One of the other, I tried to duplicate the painting class again.
Oh, I like that. You've
So-
done a good job of the eyes on that. Did you paint them? They're painted, are they, them eyes?
Yeah. And then
And that was at that class you went to?
that's after the class, yeah.
But using the class techniques?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
You'll have to let Gil back in, Mark.
Oh, sorry. I was... Yeah, okay.
His internet's playing up, so he's just rebooted it.
Yeah,
There you go. Is that better?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gil.
No, that's okay. That it's. I had to reboot my internet. But what I was saying, Mark, is in certain states at this time of the year, I don't know how bad the humidity is in Oregon. I would assume it's pretty bad right now, right, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, it's more heat than it is.
Yeah. I know, like here in Illinois, the Chicagoland area, my humidity is at. I'll tell you right now, it's a little cool today. It's at 56, but yesterday was at 92. So, trying to airbrush anything water base, the heat wasn't that bad. It was the humidity. It affects the water-based paint. Now, it doesn't affect me here in my shop because I keep it at 77 degrees all the time in here. I'm lucky. I'm sorry?
Do you have air conditioning then?
Yes, but I also have two dehumidifiers. There's one attached to the air conditioner for the entire house, but I also have one off to my right here. It's a floor-based one. It's got a 3-gallon tank at the bottom. So when it starts this time of year, I'll turn, like right now I got it off because it makes a lot of noise. You know, you'll be able to hear it. So I mean, it's quiet, but you'll still hear it.
Yeah.
During the week, this week, again, it's a 3-gallon tank that sucks all the moisture out of the air. I've had to empty it 4 times. And and the only reason that happens is that behind me, my garage is behind me to that gray door. So when you're and my our freezer's in there, we've got another refrigerator in the car, and you're opening and closing that door. So when I'm getting ready to paint, I tell the people, nobody comes down here because I need to suck the air out of the room or the moisture out of the air. But yeah, it affects water-based paint. It affects lacquers and stuff too, but not as much as water-based paint. The heat will affect it, or the humidity will affect it.
What about inks, Gil? Gil, what about inks?
I've never noticed it when I'm shooting inks. It's never really. But you got to remember, you're shooting it through an airbrush, which is the air. So.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that's my mother. I'll have to get to her later.
It's all right, Gil. Take
No. Actually, it's not. It's the guy that I'm doing this build for.
It's okay. We can mute you. It's not a problem.
Yeah, mute me for a second. Give me go back.
I don't want you to miss. Yeah, I think you need to mute it, Gil.
No, I'm okay. He hung up. I'm just gonna send him a message. I'll call him later. That's all right. It's no biggie. But yeah, inks, Josh. I can't recall a problem I may have. No, it's never been a problem with me. Not with the inks.
I know last summer I did that figure with all the oils and stuff. And I probably need to go back to that because I actually got a lot done doing the oils during the summertime.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, it's hard for us in England to understand the problems you have because we've got quite a good weather system. We don't have the high, maybe.
The camera.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe in in summer we may have a bit of humidity. Hold on, let me add Gordon back. But we generally don't have the problems you guys have. So I'm wondering, when you've got this high humidity, how does that affect brush painting? Is that a problem as well?
It can be, depending on where you're at. Like Josh, like he said, the humidity on the West Coast is not as bad as it is in the interior. Florida gets, because it's hot, they get some really bad humidity, like Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, those areas, And as you come up into the Great Lake regions, you'll have the humidity. Texas doesn't have humidity as bad either. Certain parts maybe, but not in general. Brush painting, it's the same thing. If you're using water-based acrylics and there's a very high humidity, you just put a little retarder in there and help it slow paint, help it to dry. Yeah,
it won't work with airbrushes.
Well, I use retarder. I mean, I use it all the time. So again, every shop, even when I did cars and stuff back in the day, was an air-conditioned shop, so I didn't have that problem. Now, when all this was upstairs, I noticed I was having them. That's why I bought that dehumidifier. I started having a problem with the water-based acrylics. And then once I got the dehumidifier and a little retarder and a little, this and that, and then you start playing around with it, you do it. I'm not a big brush painter. I'm an airbrusher. So I see that problem. I notice it right away when you can notice it right away when you're airbrushing. It'll start to build up on that tip more. It'll be a little bit more flaky when it comes out. There's ways you can notice it right away. Or like Josh was saying, it just builds up on that tip. You got to clean the tip off. If anybody's ever watched me, I'm forever picking at that needle, because it doesn't matter if it's water-based or lacquers. You're always going to get buildup on the needle. But
I have had that a lot in the last few weeks. When we've had this immense heat that we've got at the moment.
And that's it.
I've noticed that when I've sprayed, I've constantly having to get this little bulb of paint at the end of the needle.
Sure.
And honestly, I don't know what I thought it was because it became. It was more and more. I really, honestly, I didn't connect the hot weather with the, with the fact that I was more and more getting tip dry.
Yeah, if you're in your shop and it's warm to you in your shop, it's a little bit warmer than it normally is, and you're airbrushing, that paint's going to be affected by the heat. Especially water-based acrylics. Water-based.
Because we're like, so I'm about 28 degrees in here at the moment. That's centigrade, not Fahrenheit. I don't know what Fahrenheit. It's saying about 79.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's about in the 70s right now. Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know where we got to. We were.
Hey, Gordon, you're up, buddy.
You're up, Gordon.
Let me bring the camera around to you.
Yeah, right. Well, basically this week it's just been more work on the Tornado. I've been working on the The tanks.
Now, Gordon, if I don't mean to cut you, that's the one that you're redoing. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
This tornado I built. I think it was the first incarnation of it when Revel first released it.
Mhm.
And I didn't quite do as good a job of it as I wanted to, so it just got put on the shelf as a shelf queen. And a few weeks ago, well, it's a few months ago now, I was brevetting about and came across it. I thought, no, let's strip it back and give it another go. And that's what I've been doing.
It was January, weren't it?
Yeah, it was getting on beginning of the year, January, February time, weren't it? So basically, the fuel tanks, the pylons and stuff, they were just dipped and stripped completely. They were. And they're almost done now. Got all the staining.
Nice.
Got the winders on. Right.
Yeah, you've done a good job, then, Gordon. I love the. You can see the dark lines where you've weathered it. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Wear on the nose where it's gone down to the original camo scheme. Got the flare dispenser and the Boss pod. Don't know how well it'll show the stains and stuff up on that.
Damn, that's good.
Bit of paint chipping where paint was flaked off. But yeah, I've been working on little things, Mark. I'm in the process of doing the ejector seats for it.
Yeah, these little things are really difficult.
So yeah, it's I've got the base colours on now. It's time to put a few highlights and shadows and stuff in it now. I've got the base on, but the big one is
Here we go. I love this. Look at this.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I've got the nose resprayed and done. Added the in-flight refueling probe.
That looks good.
I don't know if you.
It does. That looks very good.
And done the exhaust staining up the fin. As well, managed to get that done. Because these parts are thrust reverser buckets, and basically as soon as the nose wheel hit the deck, they open up and go like that, and it blows all the crap.
You know, I was just looking at that, Gordon, and I thought they're going the wrong way. It's got them pointing the wrong way, and I know how fastidious you are over these things, so I knew there was a reason, and you stopped me from making a fool of myself.
Well, that part there, and it's like these two here.
Yeah.
Right, when that oleo compresses, when it touches the deck, right, they automatically deploy like a clamshell.
Yeah.
So one like that, and the other one underneath, and it throws all the jet exhaust forward, so it breaks, and it has a tendency to throw all the soot and the dust and jet efflux all the way up there, and it singes the fin. If you have a look at any tornado and stuff, you'll see it all up the fin.
Yeah.
But
you don't see it from a distance, though, do you? With them jets, that's the thing. Most people see the jet plane from what, I don't know, half a mile away, and they look spotless. It's not until you get, up close to them that you realise they're anything but spotless.
Yeah, I've actually got the wings finished and stuff now. I've got a few streaks and stains, paint chipping, mucky rubber boot prints on the top of the intakes around the back end where they'll be working. got the undercarriage. That's all on and painted. Do that one.
Very nice.
And yeah, it's not actually far off being finished now, because we were talking the other night about it, and I've made my list up, because when I get so far, you can miss painting things and finishing things off.
Yeah.
So I get to a certain stage, and I get a piece of card or a bit of paper, and I'll go through nose, aerials, navigation lights, bits and pieces like that, and then tick them off as I finished. But yeah, it's getting there. The oil paints have actually dried now on the Spit and the 109.
Oh wow,
that's
nice.
That's slowly getting there, because I put a very light, dusty oil wash over it, and I'm hoping that when I put the next coat on over the top and it dries off, it's because at the minute it's too shiny, so I need to pull it down a bit. So what I shall do, I shall whip over it with a matte coat and then polish it back with a polishing stick in the direction of the airflow to, so it's not dead matte. It puts that little bit of a sheen on it.
Yeah, like satin.
Yeah, that's getting there. So I'm just slowly working my way through them, because same as Gil knows, working with oils, you can only do so much. Then you got to put it up and let it dry.
Yeah.
And wait for it to flash off and stuff before you can do anything else. And what I do is, well, I did with the Spit and I've done with this, I put the wash over it so I don't lose that effect that I've got on. I'll put a very quick mist coat of sealer over the top, and that could be either the floor shine, or what I'm using at the minute is the GX glosses, satins and mattes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I know what you mean,
put your watch on, see, because this is the mistake I made with the Tornado. Right, I spent, what was it, about 3 weeks weathering it and dirtying it up, and then it got a bit dusty, so I wiped it down with a cloth that had a bit of bleach on it, and it stripped it. So I've had to redo all that again. So I thought, yeah, lesson learned. Bit of oils, that's it. Once it's dry, just put a varnish on it just to seal it in, and then next. But the knack with it is really thin mist coat, because if you put it on thick, you end up with losing all the panel lines, and the paintwork too thick. So it's got to be really thin, more thinner than actual paint. Well, I'm getting there.
Excellent, really good stuff.
Getting there.
Very good stuff. So that brings us round to, did we do you?
No. Yeah, I've really not gotten much done. I've been working on this old Tamiya M2 Bradley, the IFV. It's a commission build for a friend, and he was the one that called me. He's probably wondering where it's at. And I finished the interior. I know you can't see it real good, but I weathered it.
We could.
Yeah.
Weathered. The light's not gonna. Weathered it up a little bit on the inside. You know, I mean, you're not gonna really see a lot of that. The only time you'll see it is when that back is opened. That's what you'll be able to see in there.
Damn, that looks fucking cool.
Yeah, I need to go in and with a little oil and just the sidewalls here, dirty them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once it's all done, I'll go in there with the pastels and stuff and the pigments and just dirty up the floor a little bit more. And then, I still have to put the antennas on this, but I'm not going to do that until I'm done painting. I still need to paint this and weather it up, and then once the road wheels and the tracks, I'm still not 100% convinced that I'm going to use the Tamiya rubber tracks, but if I do, I still need to do that. But yeah, that's about all I've done. I haven't really done much. Just been, lazy this week.
Yeah, I love it when people say we haven't really done much, because they've probably done a load, but it's just not.
I finished a couple of commissioned figures, but those were
it's you just can't. Some stuff you just forget about. You don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, did I should have asked this before? Did anyone pick any photos for any pictures for favorite builds?
I haven't had time. Had time this week.
That's okay. Now I've got one that I want to bring up, because I picked this last week and completely forgot about it. Now I just want to say that this chap is a young guy. He's a teenager, and he's new to well, not quite new, but he's not. I don't want to offend him or his father or anything. So I'm just trying to think of the best way of putting it.
We can't see it. Do you have it up yet? We can't see it.
I'm just sorting it out now for you. It's a great little build that I picked out. Here we go. So let me just go to the beginning of the pictures, and I think he's painted this by hand.
Flip the screen, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just sorting it out now. Bear with me a second while I just need to share screen. Share screen. I've got to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's a McDonnell Douglas Phantom FG1. So this is in the Veteranous Members Gallery page. And so I think he's 15. I'm not certain. But I just felt that he'd done, because I've got this kit. And as far as I'm aware, he's done this by paintbrush. I don't think there's much. And I just think he's done really well. And he deserves some recognition for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing about this channel is about giving support and helping others. Yeah, there might be one or two areas where it could be improved. But generally, I think he's done a really good job.
That's a nice job for being brush painted.
Yeah.
I'm not certain. He may have airbrushed some of it. I did speak with I believe I spoke with his dad, who's posted it. This is his dad who's posted it. He was really proud, and I would have been super chuffed with a result like that. And I think he totally deserves some recognition for that.
Yeah.
It's a really nice kit.
Nice job.
I like that picture in particular. It's and the thing is, he's got the canopy nice and clean. Normally, people tend to mess that up. Well, when I say people, I used to mess that up badly.
Yeah, sticky glue thumbprint.
Yeah, yeah. And I just remember when I was his age, I think I'd done an A10, the Thunder, is it Thunderbolt? A10 Thunderbolt.
Yep.
And it just had fingerprints all over the canopy. It was an absolute mess. So when I look at this, I think he's done a really good job. He's not a new build. He's built before, but yeah, there we go. So I just wanted to show that, and unfortunately I forgot to show it last week. Bear with me a second while I bring us back. And I forgot to show it last week, and I promised somebody that I was going to show it. So I wanted to make sure that Josh, he says you're trying to enter the stream again.
No, I'm sharing the thing.
Do you need me to edit this?
No. Share it. It's supposed to be sharing.
Okay, there you go.
Check this out. Oh, wait. It's a small little video of that.
All right, I see.
Yeah, love the colors.
Let me just zoom in on that. There we go.
I might be able to.
Wow, that is a lot of color there, isn't it? Beautiful colors.
Yeah.
This page is dedicated to all like Warhammer stuff. I don't think these are Warhammer, but the Aviator Metal group is the like the guys that you see the box art from for Warhammer and stuff.
That's very good.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love the colors.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah. The colors are different. They're not like the. Are they the official sort of colors for that?
I don't think those are Warhammer. Those aren't Warhammer. I don't think.
I don't think so.
No.
I see he's got Citadel paints in the background. So
yeah. No, those. I don't think those are Warhammer. I don't think. I mean, it might be. I don't. They don't look like something I've ever seen in Warhammer, but I could be wrong. But I don't. Yeah, they don't look like Warhammer to me.
No, I've never seen them before. But I'm not big on the Warhammer lore and stuff like that. So, but I do see the Citadel paints in the background.
Yeah, I love the colors though.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, you can end that share thing. How the heck do I get back? This one?
Yeah. Well, we can see you.
Okay, here we go.
So, Mark, what did you want to talk about?
Mark?
You got your microphone is muted, Mark.
Sorry, that's because the dog keeps barking.
Okay.
Yeah, so this week I wanted to look at tiny figures and how best to paint them, because I've got a tiny figure and I want to know how best to paint it. And that was basically the whole reason behind the title. Pure selfish.
Well, number one, that figure you're doing, that brush, I don't think that's a number 2 brush. I have 2 of them in front of me, number 2s. One's from Broken Toad and one's a Japanese Kalinsky. I can't remember. I've had it for so long that the numbers are off on it. But
yeah,
these are number 2 brushes right here. Now, there's a big difference. Now, these are your standard number 2s, and the one I showed, again, is a Raphael.
Yeah.
And that Raphael is a number 2. So here's the difference now between the brushes. These are all 3 of them are number 2s. See the difference?
Oh wow, there's a big difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're using a number 2 brush, if you're using something like this, a Raphael, the belly of it is going to be thicker because it holds more paint.
Yeah.
This is a broken toed number 2, and you see the difference.
Yeah.
This is, again, I can't remember what I remember buying it. I don't. It's a Japanese. I got it from Japan, but this is also a number 2.
Right.
So, you know, the number 2s can vary.
Yeah.
If you're using like that little figure you got there, you want something. A number 2 is fine, but the reason you're using a number 2 is because you're holding more paint. That Psycho you got,
Yeah.
that's like what, 2 cat hairs on there, if anything.
Yeah, it's
I
very,
had one.
very,
Yeah.
very small.
I had one and I got rid of it.
Right.
It doesn't hold any paint.
Right. No, you're right.
For what you're using, use a 0 or number 2. That's how small that thing is. A number 2 is basically what I use. That's my universal brush. But let me grab one right here. This is a 0. It's also a broken toed. That's a 0. But this is a chiseled brush. I have right in front. Where is it? Right here. This is a number 3. See that?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna paint something like say the face on that, you do it with a good number 2. But when you get to the eyes, you want a 3 or more. The eyes generally, if I got it here, let me see if I can grab it real quick. What I use, and you could use something like one of these, you know, the clay shapers for the.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Is that a rubber brush there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I've got those.
Yeah. You can use that for the eyes.
Really?
Yeah, there are smaller ones.
I've
I've
got
heard people using toothpicks.
But you can use a toothpick if you want. Yeah, it'll help. Here's a very, very, very small rubber one. You can get these on Amazon. See that?
Yes, I've got one like that. I've got the MIG set.
You know, you can use that just to put that dot right in the center. Yep.
Yes.
And it works. It helps.
Mine.
Or I have something like this, which is basically the same thing. It's a blender. It's a rubber tip blender. That.
Yeah.
That'll help if you want to, like for something small like that. You know what? You just put a little dab on the brush and just bip right in there.
There's my rubber tipped.
Put it back on you, Mark.
Bear with me a second. So my.
Yeah. You see that tip there? You can use that to put the pupil in the eye.
Yeah, I got. I bought a set of them, but I don't really know. I don't use the other ones. I've got this.
Yeah. Those are good. Those. You know what I use them mostly for, Mark? Is I use them for metallic pigment powder.
Oh right. And
You know, instead of using a Q-tip to burnish it, I use that to burnish it.
Yeah. They come in sets of 5. They're not a bad price, and they're very weighty.
Yeah.
Compared to a general brush, these are very heavy.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know how you were saying you're having a hard time with that. Well, you know, number one, the brush could be the problem. It's too big.
Yeah.
It's too big. And now you got people like James Wappel that can use a number 10 brush and get that detail. But you're not there.
No.
What I do now, this little guy here,
Yeah.
Let me. I should have had the camera switch, but this little guy here. This is a Malifaux figure, a little Malifaux figure I did. If I can get it to zoom in, there you go.
Yeah.
There, come on. Let me show those wings. You know, the wings got the detail in there, but that was all done with ink. But you see how big this guy is. Look, there's my figure. Right here.
Tiny.
That green was airbrushed.
Right.
Those wings were airbrushed. But then I went in with something like this and just, you know, did my work. Now, when I'm painting something small like that, I'll hold it. See that finger? That's what I rest my finger on, my hand on. My thumb and my hand.
Let me get this. So let me show you how I paint when I'm, so you can see. You can see then. Let me just bring that up because I'll show you exactly how I paint. Let me just bring the camera over. Right. So when I'm painting these figures, I'm just picking up a random brush. It's not the brush I would use, but I normally just look over the top of my glasses, and then I sit there like that, and then I go in and paint like that. And I literally, so I've watered down my paint, I dab the end in and just come along and touch it to the area.
So Mark, stay in that position. Put both your elbows on the edge of the desk.
Rest them on the desk themselves.
Right.
Now, see your ring finger that you're holding that brush in, your ring finger and your pinky finger. Steady those two fingers against the hand that you're holding the yeah.
So like that?
Yeah, not the middle. Yeah, not the two fingers you're holding the brush with, but take your pinky finger, just steady it up against your hand there.
So like that.
Yeah.
So looking like, all right, I see. Yeah.
Now with your elbows on that table and with your hand being anchored to your other hand, you're not shaking as much.
No, I'm not. No, it doesn't feel comfortable because it's different.
Right. Once you get used to something like the way the main thing is anchor those elbows.
Yeah.
You know, like you just got them right now, like Josh showed you. Anchor those elbows. You know. Now some people can do it up against their body. Some people have to have their elbow anchored to the desk, but that stops that hand from shaking. Because if your body's shaking and you got your arms tucked into your body, your whole body's going to shake.
Yeah.
The other thing is don't hold your breath.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, I do that.
If you're holding your breath, you're shaking. Just relax. Just let out a little bit of air. Just, you know. But if you're holding your breath, you're going to start to shake. It's an involuntary movement. You can't stop it. You're going to shake. Some people can do it. Some people can't. Now, when I'm painting, my elbows are here, and I'm right here. And when my method is if I'm on the desk, this arm that I'm holding the paintbrush is anchored. This one, same thing, but I use my thumb or my pinky. So I'll have this here, and my pinky is right there. And that's how, I can't do this because it's just too close and it bothers me. So I want to be right here. My palm is still up against my hand, but this finger right here anchors everything. And I just move these two fingers. Now I'm not shaking at all. And I've drunk 3 cups of coffee, and I drink some strong coffee too. So it's like,
yeah, I get it. I've got it like that now. Yeah.
Now, if you go too close, you know, you got a problem because you're too close to the ferrule. Try to stick a little bit further away like this, and just there, you know, there it is.
Oh, yeah, you can get nice straight lines as well.
Yep, and you're not shaking. Elbows are on the table, hand, palm, boom.
I like it. Yeah, that's cool.
See, I'm doing it the way you would be doing it. Now, this is not my preferred method. My preferred method is these two fingers. For me.
Yeah.
I'll rest these two fingers like so. See, that one and this one. I rest them right here, and boom. But the way you paint, you have your two hands together.
Yeah.
So you just anchor them. Use this thumb here to anchor, and these two are the only. You see, this one here is free floating, but you can use it to anchor up against that thumb. So you got right here,
that makes a massive difference.
and then you're moving it around. So that'll stop the shake. It's not going to make you better your colors together, but it'll stop the shake.
Yeah.
You know, there's another trick, and it's a little bit more difficult. You take a rubber band, you wrap it. I mean, I learned that in art school.
Yeah, I've heard of this one. You wrap it around
wrap it around here and around this finger here, the hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one here somewhere, a rubber band somewhere around here.
Now, see, when I have a different chair than you guys do. I actually have like a kitchen chair that has 4. So what I do is I just lean up against the table.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got all the weight on my elbows so they don't move nearly nothing. And I'm just priming figures with a, big ass brush.
Yeah.
So, but detail work, I just try to and you got to be in a good state of mind too.
Yeah.
Like if you're constantly thinking of stuff like work or I mess it up all the time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. If your mind's not on it, then you're gonna fluff
But
things.
It's also how you're holding the brush. If you choke up too much on it, you're in a rigid state, so you're not able to flex that brush around. So you pull back a little bit. Like you don't want to get all the way up to the ferrule. You don't. I mean, you don't really. I mean, some people do, but you don't really need to be that close. You choke back to right behind that ferrule, and you're able to move with these two fingers. You're able to move the brush, versus your whole hand. If you do this and you're choked up on it, you have to use the whole hand to move it.
Yeah.
If you just choke back a little bit, you use the two fingers to do it.
Yeah, it's not a pencil; it's a paintbrush.
Yeah, it's a paintbrush. You want to be able to do that. You're not drawing lines, you're painting.
And I'll tell you what I find. So here's another issue I have. When it comes to using the paintbrushes, I'll find that when I'm doing, minute stuff.
Switch your camera, Mark.
Yeah, apologies. When I'm doing tiny stuff, you'll dip your paintbrush and you'll start to paint, and you'll have a stray hair that's got a globule of paint on that's off at a different angle to the rest.
Yes. Well, there's a simple solution for that too, Mark.
Just cut it off.
No. If it's to that point where it's an unruly SOB, yeah, I'd get rid of it. Nip it with your nipper. Your Tamiya clipper, just nip it right off. But when you're dipping your brush in the paint, you shouldn't dip in it. You should do this. You take the brush.
Okay, wait. Let Mark get the camera back on you.
So say that you got paint here. You take the brush. You don't just dip and then go. You take the brush and you just roll it in the paint.
Dip.
You see that? Don't dip. Just take the brush and roll it, and then away, and you roll it. Now you're putting the point back on that brush.
I always dip.
You see what I'm doing there with my hand? I'm
dipping,
going in, and then I'm rolling away, and then I'm putting a point back on that brush as I'm doing it. And then I got a bad hit doing this, but.
Yeah. Now that was another question. There's a couple of questions I was going to ask. Firstly, I've seen people use the back of their hand as a paint palette.
Do it all the time.
So that's
what you're doing.
That motion from that.
But what you're doing there when you're using the back of your hand, you're taking excess paint off of the brush. You don't want to have too much paint on the brush. So if you go into your palette and you do what I just said there, and you go to paint, you just want to make sure there's not a lot of paint on there, because you don't want a lot of paint. I was telling somebody last night. They were saying they're going to get rid of their Lloyd was saying he was going to get rid of his Reaper paints because they were too thick. And I said, or too thin. And I'm like, dude, that's all I have a ton of them. What are you talking about? Well, they're too thin. I said, well, if you're painting figures, you want thin paint. You want to thin your paint. The number one rule, the first rule you learn when you're painting figures is thin your paint.
Yes, yeah.
So, okay. So now that you got your paint thinned and you went in there and you did that, you got your brush, you're holding the figure in your hand. So you go in there and you just do it one more time just to make sure you take any excess off, and then you go in. That's what the hand is for. That's why you see a lot of us. You got a crap load of paint on it, because all we're doing is we're taking excess off and we're putting a point back on there, and boom, 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 boom. You can do that on the palette, but you'll also find that by doing that, you take a little bit off and then you go in. You take a little bit off, you go in. You use the back of your hand.
Yeah, and that takes a little bit to learn too. That's not something you'll struggle with that a little bit till you get the hang of it.
Yeah. Now the other thing.
Switch your camera.
Yeah, the other thing that you mentioned earlier, and which I've seen so many of the top painters do, is this.
I do that all the time.
Now, I look at it, and honestly, when I see them do that, I think, oh my God, they're in dim paint, right? So my question is, why?
You're putting You see me, I do it all the time, and it's unconscious. I don't even know I'm doing it. I'll be painting, I'll clean my brush, I do that, and then I go and get paint. And then once I'm done doing what I do, that I don't do it before I dip it, or before I dip it, I'll do that. Or if I'm doing a little, if I have paint on my hand and I'm doing a tight detail, take the paint off and then go. Now, it's a disgusting habit, to be sure. But it's putting a fine point on that brush. That's why we do it.
All right. Okay.
That's why we do it. I could tell you what Vallejo tastes like. I don't do it with lacquers and shit because, of course, there's a reason why. But if I'm using like Vallejo or Reaper or Citadel, I do it. I've got Technicolor mouth, after I'm done, because I'm licking the brush and I'm putting a point on it. I'm not advocating it, but we all do it, man. We all do it for the most part. I've seen many people do it, and they don't realize they're doing it. They're just it's just something, but it's putting a point, a fine point back on that brush is why they're doing it. It
does seem to be something that is, whenever you watch any of these people on the YouTube channels that have got many followers, the people that are really sort of, it's something they all do.
Yeah, it's just what you're putting a point back on that brush is what you're doing.
But then I wonder, because I'll be honest, it's not something I can do.
Then practice rolling the brush in your palette, like I showed. Don't dip. You go in there, you take a little bit, and as you're pulling the brush away, you roll the brush to put the tip back on.
But does that mean that I'm never going to be able to be successful at this because I won't, lick the brush?
No. That doesn't mean that. There's different ways to do it. I know. I don't think I've ever seen James lick his brush. I'm sure he does, but I've never seen him do it.
I don't think I've ever seen James.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing him do it, but he's messing with oils and acrylics in the same medium. So I don't think I've ever seen him do it, but I've seen, I know I do it, and I don't know when I picked it up, but years ago, most of the people I follow, I've seen them do it, and again, it's people that don't do it, they think, oh, why are you doing that? I'm putting a fine point on that brush. Because if I'm doing detail work, then I go in.
Gordon.
I'll do the paint and then take a little bit more paint and do it.
Yeah. What do you say about this, Gordon?
I'm in the guild school.
There you go.
So you're you like paints for your pack lunch as well.
To say.
Sorry, what was that, Josh?
I said you're a certified paint licker, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seems that I didn't know this about Gordon, but he actually seems to enjoy paints for his pack lunch as well.
It's the quickest way to put a point on that brush is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll have ham and vanilla. What was it? I'll have ham and
I bet you Gordon can tell you what Vallejo tastes like, whatever. We all know what it tastes like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Lacquer base tastes horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah. We could all, I mean, I can tell you how many times my wife has seen me do it. She goes, that's disgusting. I'm like, yeah, but you like what I paint though, right? Then the story.
It's same as Gil was saying. It's when you do a lot of painting, detailed painting like that, it's a habit that you seem to pick up.
Exactly.
Right? It's you can follow some people and you'll see them and you'll think, why are they doing that? What's this all about? And you'll sit there one night and you're going away like this. You know, crap. Light bulb moment.
Yep. It's the quickest way to quickest way to put a point.
Once you get that light bulb moment, it's wow. Why haven't I been doing that for years?
Yeah, it's the quickest way to put a point back on the brush.
Yeah.
So it's like a little shortcut, really.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, you get used to you start doing it, you don't even realize you're doing it. I mean, I've got videos on my channel that you'll see me painting something, and you'll see the brush disappear and then come back. That's exactly what I'm doing.
So, another question I'm going to ask, and I know a lot of people will ask this: when it comes to small figures, the eyes are always a big issue when it comes to eyes.
Yeah.
Now I've even got. No word of a lie. Let me just grab this. Let me just find it very quickly. I've got a sheet. Oh, I can find it.
While you're doing that, I'm going to grab one with ice.
There we are. So I have this sheet, and it shows the steps you need to take when you're painting an eye.
Yeah, that sheet was part of the class that I did this weekend. Yeah, that works great.
Now, that just seems like an awful lot of steps.
It really isn't.
Wait. Stop. Let's back up a second. There's shit. So I'm not going to show it because the class, but for just regular tabletop, you want to go all the way to D, maybe E. If you're going to do like commission work, you're going to go to like step K. No. M.
Okay.
You want to take it all the way to the full end, all the details and everything, you'll take it all the way to every step.
So
that's how it was broken down for me.
That's how.
Yeah. Now, if you're learning how to do this, Mark,
that seems complex.
No, it really isn't. If you want to get to that, yes, it's complex. But here, put the camera back, and I'm going to show you something real quick.
Right. Do you want it on you?
Yes, please.
Yeah. There we go.
This is one. This is a small little figure, but if I can get it to focus, damn it. I'm on. You're not going to focus, huh? Nope, the damn thing is not going to focus. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Really?
It's a nightmare when
Anyway, yeah, these stupid cameras. I mean, I got it. Let me see if I can do this and then slowly bring it up. If I can get it right in here to focus. Yeah, it's not going to focus.
No.
Yeah, but I can see your fingerprints though.
Yeah, you can see my fingerprint, but you can't see what I'm trying to show.
Just if you back away there, yeah, you've got it.
Now, yeah, it's. Let me see if I can find a picture of it, Mark. Go ahead and finish talking. I've got a picture of it, and I'll show that. Give me a second here. You can take it off me for a minute. And I'll find a picture.
Well, I'll put it back on all of us. So basically, yeah, I got this sheets of how to do eyes, and I've even got. I bought a set of different decals that were supposed to be for eyes.
Yeah.
Because I got fed up of fighting, trying to paint these eyeballs. And the thing was that the decals were great, but the carrier film around each eyeball was massive. So you'd got a 1/72nd scale eyeball, and you'd got this massive carrier film around the edge. And when you tried to stick it in the eye, you'd got all this. So you had to try and cut it out. And that was a nightmare on its own, trying to cut out a 1/72nd eyeball with a little scalpel. And then it wasn't easy.
So
whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is let me share the screen real quick. Application window, Chrome tab. Geez, you got to go through all kinds of jump through hoops, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, you see that? You see that?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I've got you.
That's the same figure before I finished painting. I was just working on the eyes.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Now those are painted. Those aren't the decals.
Those are painted.
Okay.
I've used the decals, but these are painted. If I can get that right there. You see that?
So how did you achieve that?
All right. What I did with this, let me go back. I don't know if you want to. What I did with that, Mark, is basically the steps that you're seeing there. I don't have a sheet, but I just, so I paint. What I do is I'll paint the depending on the mood and how I'm doing it, I'll paint either the white first or I'll paint it all black. It depends on the figure. With this one, it was all white. I painted it's an ivory, it's an off-white. And then, with a zero brush, the zero brush that I showed you.
Yeah.
Go in and I'll paint the black on the inside. And then, from there, I start working on everything else. I add a little bit of a red wash in there, to make them eyes bloodshot. Then I'll take a little white and then add, like you see there. Let me go back to them. Like here, you have the black. So with this one here, now that I'm looking at it, you have the white, and then in here, right in there was a red dot that I put in there. Then I took that zero and right around the edge, I put the black. Now, granted, I did it a little different than other people do it. But see that little dot right there where I'm pointing at? That's a white. That's a little bit of the white, just to give it a highlight.
Oh, right. I'm with you, yeah.
And then I took a 3-0 brush and just added little lines in there like that. Just a couple of little lines. When that's all done, after I added the red wash, a little black underneath, or actually it was a sepia, dark sepia, burnt umber, I think it was. Or was it? Anyway, then once that's all dry, I add a little red wash in there, let that dry, and the shine that you see on there is future. The floor wax.
Damn, that looks good.
That's just that's the floor wax. There it is right there. Yep. Yeah. You can see that right there?
That's what I'm trying to achieve. That.
Now that granted, that's a bigger figure. I don't know if I think I've got something smaller somewhere around here, but when you're talking about something that small, Mark,
yeah,
that head is probably about the size of a dried up pea.
Well, that's that one there. That's okay. What I'm on about.
Number one, in order to hold that so you can paint that, I would take a paper clip and just drill a small hole on the bottom.
Like that?
Yeah, at the bottom. Glue a little paper clip underneath there or something to hold it. And then, yeah, something like that. So, even thinner than that, you know, but if you can get it in there, you know.
I had that glued in earlier, and while we were moving around, it got knocked off.
There you go. So you're able to hold it. Now you put the flesh tone on there, you know. But before I start working on the face, I always do the eyes first.
Yeah,
because once you do the face and you go to do those eyes, you get that paint that gets all over everything, and so you go in there, you paint it like a little off-white, and for something that small, Mark, you're not going to get a lot of detail in there. You know what I mean?
No, I'm aware of that. You got to be realistic, aren't you?
Yeah. So you take whatever color the iris is going to be, and either with a toothpick or with a 3-0 brush, you just go in there and put a dot in there.
Yeah.
Now the way you get them centered is you do one first. You figure out which way he's looking. You know, say he's looking straight at you. So you do the first one. You're always going to screw up on the next one. So what you do is you take that and you turn him upside down. Turn the head upside down. So you take the figure and then you turn it upside down and do the other eye. That way you're lining up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lines up. That's an easy way to do it. Lines up. And then once you do that, you turn them back around. Now, if you want a little bit of a highlight in there, that's that crazy little cycle brush you got. You just, again, roll it in there, get a little bit on the tip, and just very gently where you want the shine, the light to come in.
Yeah.
You add a dot in there. Once that's done, Mark, for that kind of figure there, you're not going to get a lot of detail in there for that little guy. But it's fairly easy. You got 3 steps for that little guy. Now, if you get a bigger figure like this, of course, it's different. Or something like what Josh is working on. It's a little, you know, the bigger ones. Now you got a little bit more detail. The eyes are going to show, you know. But for something like that, you know, you're not going to look at it. You're not going to be doing this to it and staring at it like this. That's it's going to be sitting in the cockpit. You want a little eye in there. And the other thing about eyes is you don't want to make the whole black thing to cover both eyelids. You want to have a little bit of white showing at the bottom, just a bit. So you want to go. What you want to do with an iris like that is, if it's round, of course, like so, you want to cut off about that much on there when you put the eye in there. So this is what's showing because the eyelid covers the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that's where you want to go with it. Fairly, it seems like a lot, Mark, and it seems daunting, but it's not really that hard to do. You just got to make sure you get the eyeballs so they're not looking that way, you know.
Yeah, eyes have always been my weak point. I'm sure a lot of people have had the same issue.
Yeah, or you can do this, Mark. You can do this. This is the really quick and easy way to do it. You paint the inside of it black, the inside of the eye black.
Yeah.
Then you come in with a little white, and then you dip, and there it's done.
Yeah, I've read. That's another method of.
Yeah,
I've got bloody books on it.
Yeah, yeah. But you got to remember the size of what you're painting too. So you're not going to get it to where it looks like what you see these pro guys do. These guys got years of doing this, you know, years of it. You know?
I mean, have you seen some of these? So they come on and they've painted like, I don't know, Tom Cruise.
You're looking at a head that's about that big though.
And you look at it, and they've got the skin so perfect. It's unbelievable.
Now, I've done what you've done. I've bought those decals, and I've used them on 2 figures I got over there. And I've always found it doesn't matter if I spray them with a decal bonder. It always, when I cut them out and I put them in, I go to put them in the eye, I lose all the detail. So it disappears. So what I've ended up having to do with the couple of times that I've used them is I put the decals in, and then I have to go in and paint everything. Repaint.
Yeah, I thought they were crap. Honestly, it's against the company that made them, but there was so much carrier film on that they were just useless.
Yeah, I have a couple of them that they came out nice, but one of them, you put it in, it's beautiful. You go to put the other one in, and all of a sudden, when I'm moving it around to get it in position, I lose. All the ink starts coming off of it, and I lose it. So now I got one eye that's set in there, and I got the other one that's set, but it's got no detail in there. So now what I have to do is go in there and repaint over that decal. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I stopped using them. They're great if you can get them to work. Now I know like what's it, Dan over at ISM, he uses them a lot and he loves them. I was
very disappointed with them.
Yeah, I've used them 2 or 3 times. I've gotten mixed results with them. I like them because they're great. I still have them, but I'll use them on a bigger figure if I want to. But I always go in and repaint on top of them. You know, so I'll lay them in there and it gives me the shape, you know, the outline, and then I have to go in and repaint them. You know, for me. I mean, other people use them and they have no problem with them. I know that the last couple of times I've tried to use them, I've had to go over them. And there's it's over there. There's 2 or 3 of them that I've used them on, like the big figure that I used for Azog, the figure. I used them on his eyes. You know, the white ones. They had some real nice white irises.
And then you had that Ram thing. I thought turned out
really. The Ram thing was that was done with those 2. But I had to go in and retouch them up because the ink started coming off of them. But on one of them, so now I got to match them. And then once I did that, I figured, well, I got to go over them. But yes, I used them on the Ram. I used them on Azog, and I think I used them on a female. Yeah, I used them on a female figure. But I always had to go in and retouch them up, you know, because they once I start moving them around, I don't care how much decal bonder I got on top of it. Once I start moving around, they disappear. They blow up on me. They fall apart. You know, I'm like, the hell with it. You know, I stopped using them.
Wow.
Will I use them again? Yeah, maybe on a bigger figure. Yeah. I mean, they have their if I'm getting lazy and I don't want to have to do the black around the eye and stuff, they're good when you put them in. You have the shape, and then you can go in from that shape and then touch everything up. You know, that's what I've ended up doing with them. But I like them for that reason. I've never been able to get them to work 100%, but I've gotten them to work 50%. You know.
Any thoughts, Gordon?
I've used the eye decal, same as Gil said, and same as you've used yourself, Mark. Mainly on the 35th scale armor figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know whether it's something to do with their quality control or what, but I started to come across the same sort of problem as Gil. You trim it, fit it. As soon as you tapped it with some setting solution or anything like that, the ink goes bing, and it's gone.
It's gone. Yep.
Yeah. So it's the same as Gil says. I use them more now if I'm doing anything like that. I use them as a guide.
That's what I was getting at. You could use them as a guide,
right? Because it's same as Gil says. You can have a full decal sheet of them, and they're all the same size, but just slightly different colours. And you'll get one in, and it'll go down perfect, right? But you put the second one in, there you go, ding, and it's gone. And it's right. So it's back using the Mark 1 eyeball, so to speak, and trying to use what you've got left as a guide. But now I'll just drop them in, pray, keep my fingers crossed, and just use them as a guide and paint them. What I have noticed with doing it like that, now I have a tendency of going, like you said yourself, Gil, paint the eyeball black, bit of white, ding, 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 done.
Yeah.
Because on a 1/35th scale figure, same as you said, you're not going to see a lot. It's like that 32nd scale buff off a pilot, right? You're not going to see a lot. Paint it black, a couple of blocks of white, bing, bing, done.
Yeah, because that eye is so goddamn tiny, you're not going to see it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to see it. Now, if you're doing some commission work and somebody wants to see that eye, well, now you're going to spend some time doing that eye.
Yeah. Oh, it's like that. That's 32nd scale ejector seat, right? So the pilot is going to be the same size as Mark's in that.
Yeah.
So if you take the head cushion there, right, how small the head's going to be, right? So you can work out how small the eyes are going to be, and it's let's not go for detail, let's go for representation.
Yeah, this guy, Mark, is smaller than what you're painting.
Yeah.
And I have eyes in him. Now, when you're looking at him, you can see the eye, but you know there's an eye there because the detail, the effect is there. But if I put my glasses on, you zoom in on them, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. I just painted it black and put 2 red dots in there.
So I bought these for eyeballs. I seen them in a makeup shop, and they're basically just tiny little round.
Yeah.
They're these. What are they classed as?
Those are clay shapers.
They're nail art tools.
Yeah.
But for putting a black dot as your iris, they're perfect.
Yeah, my daughter uses them. That's what she does for a living. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was used. Well, I still am. I bought 2 packs. The bigger pack I don't need. But this pack is perfect, especially this smaller one.
Yeah.
You can just go and you can dip it in some ink because I used the black ink, and I just,
Yeah.
See, I always get these they're fine touch, but they're from Walmart. And I mean, you can see all the different sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I only paid $8 for it, the whole package.
Yeah.
Bear with me. So that's
See,
$8. That's about £8, isn't it?
Yeah, when you do eyes, if you could have everything perfect, but if you get those eyes wrong, it just destroys the whole effect.
Here, I'll show you a perfect example of getting them wrong.
Oh yeah, if you get the eyes wrong, it ruins the whole thing.
It ruins everything. It doesn't matter how good the clothes looks, how good the skin tones look.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter if you get the eyes wrong. The whole thing.
Like that there. Josh did a good job on that, but the eyes ruined the whole thing.
Even the camera doesn't like the eyes.
Yep, he's like, I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get the eyes wrong, you just ruin the whole effect.
I mean, it's absolutely horrible.
And you never want to use pure white because nobody's eye is pure white.
No, I've got off-white.
I use an ivory or an off-white, never a pure white because it'll be like, what is it? The guy been snorting some cocaine or something, the eyes are too white, so you want to use a muted white,
Anyway, I need to wrap this up because dinner's on its way. So great little talk there on these small figures. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me just bring it back. And we may. So obviously, you'll see in future weeks. You'll see how I do with this, and I'll feed back either next week or the week after on how I done. We're currently in the middle of replacing all our flooring, so there will be. I may not be here next week. Angela says I will be, but
You will be.
He says you will be.
Yeah.
Oh, you will be.
Yeah. Right. If
You
okay.
will be. No,
The boss spoke. You will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God
because
have
you started
mercy.
your first, Mark.
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and we look forward to speaking to you all again soon. Goodbye from me.
All right, guys.
Bye, everybody.